Hi, Mr. Bloxham here. We're going to show you how to make some sushi, and I'm just going to go through some of the ingredients first. The most important things are probably the rice, which is sushi rice. You cook it you have to wash it first in some water, cook it for 10 minutes, leave it for 10 minutes, just sort of carrying on cooking. Then you add some flavour to it. So the flavours you normally add to it are rice wine vinegar, so we've got a big bottle here of rice wine vinegar, but you can get little bottles here, and cinnamon, which is quite sweet. You also put salt and sugar in, and that should be on the, normally tell you how to make that on the packet. It's on the packet here, it's got the ingredients there, so I'm just going to show you that there. There we go, there we go. So do that so you can see that, see if it focuses. Hopefully you can read that, so it's got the instructions on there and there. So once you've got the cooked rice, we get the nori. Oh, and we'll tell you some other stuff we got here. So I've cut up some pepper, red pepper, cucumber, and a little bit of spring onion. I've got some toasted sesame seeds. I've got some sweet corn, a little bit of spinach, some prawns. Oh, I pickled some ginger. So this is pickled ginger. So for the pickled ginger, just going to show you this. The pickled ginger, I've sliced it thinly, I put a little bit of salt on it, boil it for about 4 minutes, and put it with a mixture of sugar and some other stuff. So that makes it, and it's pickled, and some rice wine vinegar, and I've made that only yesterday, but you can make it a bit further in advance than that. I've got some avocado, I've got some prawns here, I've got some smoked salmon. I haven't got any real raw fish. I've got some smoked salmon that's sort of in between, and I've got, this is the cheap option, which is the crab sticks. So first thing first, I'm going to prepare a few of the ingredients. So slice this up, doesn't have to be super thin, because you won't see it, so it's a bit of a red colour so you can see that. I've got the prawns here, I peeled them all. This one I'm just going to peel, I cooked these earlier, so these were grey-blue earlier. So if you buy them, if they're pink, that means they're cooked. If they're like a grey colour or blue, they will need cooking, and they don't need much cooking. So you just pull them out. Sometimes the large ones have a little bit of a vein in them, and they've got a blue vein, you can pull them out. These ones seem to be okay though. So once I've done that, I'm going to quickly rinse my hands off. I'm going to do the avocado if we've got enough rice there. So I'm going to use a whole sheet. Sometimes I only use half a sheet. But then it makes it small, and they're making quite small. Maybe I'll make one of those in a minute. So we get the sushi rice. So we get this rice in our hand and spread it around, but I'm not going to put it on this bit here, about the last 5 centimetres, and I'm going to leave it about a centimetre this edge. Yeah, that makes it a little bit easier, I find. Don't put it too thick, and one mistake people make with this, if you put too much filling in, then you can't roll it up. So you have to push it all out. Make sure it's all evenly coloured, none in this last bit, because that's going to help seal it. So push it all down, all the way up to the edges. Tiny bit more. Yeah, it's quite sticky. This, yeah, it's got mirin in it, which is good. Sugar, salt. So it's got quite a good flavour to it. So once you've done that, we're going to put a few. Some people put something on their hands so it doesn't stick to them. I've seen people use mayonnaise, oil, and some other things. So you can try that maybe. So I've got some, first one I'm going to do the cheap one first. I'm going to do the crab sticks. So these have got some plastic in them, so I need to take the plastic off. So I'm going to get 2 of these. These are a little bit big to put in. So I think I'm going to cut these in half, lengthwise. And I might even put some salmon in this one as well, some smoked salmon. So you have to put, you can put tuna in, you don't have to put fish in, you can just put vegetarian ones. I've seen other people even put chicken in them, but obviously sushi is right now for raw fish. Raw tuna and salmon would be good, but it needs to be good quality if you're going to put some raw fish in there. So I'm going to put a bit of this in first. It's already sliced obviously, but I'm going to cut it this way. Put a little bit down the middle, or on one side. Then I'm going to put some green stuff in it, and make some colourful. Put some colourful stuff in there. You can do loads of, you can try all different things out. Then I'm going to put some crab in there. Well, it's not real crab, but they're the crab sticks. Then I'm going to put a little bit of red pepper, a little bit of green actually, because this is a bit pink, the salmon. So don't put too much in, I think I've nearly got enough in anyway. Try not to put too much in. otherwise you're going to struggle to, especially if you have half of this. So then I'm going to put a bit of red pepper as well on here. Now you could put things like wasabi in it now, but I haven't got any wasabi. But I have got the ginger and soya sauce. Oh, soya sauce, I've got this, this is quite a famous Japanese one, but I have got some other ones here. So I am going to use the Japanese one, seeing it's going to be Japanese. Normally, I have it about 5 centimetres away from the thing. Then roll it over. Now this mat, by the way, I've got this mat and I've covered it in cling film, and it doesn't sort of get all, and it's really hard to wash. So you can make square ones. This might not roll very round. Sometimes you can sort of roll it round, but where I've got it on the cling film, it might stop me doing that. So I'm going to make it a little bit pressure on, otherwise it falls apart. And when it does, it should be a square type shape now. So a little bit come off there, so just a tiny bit more. Make sure it all sticks down. Then with a nice sharp knife. So I've got a couple of different knives out here, and we're going to see which one goes the best. So I've got this one and this one. I'll sharpen them up a bit. The end bit might look a bit tatty. Try and make them all nice and even. So I'm going to do them about an inch thick, which is about 2.5 centimetres. Then you can see them. You can see it there. We've got it. You can see the thing. So I'm going to cut it all up. So I'm going to cut them all roughly even. Try and make sure the tabs come out. This knife's reasonably sharp. I might try the other one, see if it's any different, but this one's doing it quite well. These are quite big bits. The next bits I'm going to make are going to be slightly smaller. The end bit, sometimes it's a bit tatty, then we don't use that, we just eat all those bits. So then we lay it down, and you can either put it on a nice white plate, or one of this black slate, looks quite good. I have them all out, so that's one type. So that one was crab and smoked salmon. Now I'm going to make some smaller ones. As you can see, they're quite actually large pieces, so they'll be a big mouthful really. So we're going to make some smaller ones now. So you can put less in it, maybe have a little bit thinner. This one I'm going to try, actually I'm going to do one more big one, then I'm going to do 2 little ones actually. So this one I'm not going to put quite so much in. Yeah, but slightly less in. I'm going to put something on my hands this time to save a little bit of mayo, to see if it saves sticking. It don't always work, but this one I'm going to make slightly smaller. You can see the other one was quite big, so I'm going to put something different in this one. I'm not going to put quite so much in there, because I think they're quite big. Yeah. Especially for a mouthful, because normally you'd have them pick them up with the chopsticks. So push it all the way out, spread it out. Yeah, at school we only give them half a sheet each normally if we're doing it at school, because they can have a little practice there. And then they definitely don't want so much in it if you do that. So I'm going to put a little bit more in here actually. You want it not too near the edge, but I'm going to put it a bit nearer the edge than last time. So this one I'm going to try the avocado this time. So I'm going to cut up the avocado, and I'm going to do 2 things with the avocado. We might make some later and put the avocado, slice it up and put it on top with the prawn. So this one, going to get the avocado. Is it right? More or less. It could have been a bit ripe. Maybe it's not hard. I don't like them when they're hard. They don't taste so good when they're hard. So these are good, famous also in Mexico as well as. Then I'm going to scoop it out with a spoon. I'm going to try and do it nice and thin. So I'm going to try and keep this out so it looks reasonably neat. This one's reasonably soft. I'm going to slice it nice and thin. Oh. It's sticking for some reason, don't normally do that. That's better. I'm going to put some avocado in this one. It's not very firm avocado, this one. So a bit of avocado. I'm just going to put smoked salmon in this one. Smoked salmon. Sweet corn I wouldn't say normally goes in it, but some youngsters like sweet corn. So that might be good. Tuna and sweet corn ones. You can use tin tuna. I've done that before. It's not the same as the fresh stuff, but then I'm going to put some cucumber in still so we get a bit of colour. So I'm going to put a bit of cucumber each side. Cucumber, maybe a little bit of red for a bit of red colour. You can put anything in. Sometimes they have some black sesame seeds. I haven't got any of them. I made a mistake there. I didn't put the bamboo mat underneath. That was a mistake there, see. So I should have put the bamboo mat because this is awkward to get on top sometimes. So if you have done this, you just have to be careful you don't break. It's reasonably strong, but try and put the bamboo mat down first. So roll it round, bring it up. Let's see if I can make this a little bit rounder. So normally I sort of roll it, but it's not rolling where I've covered it in the drink cover. At least I can roll it a little bit. You can be reasonably firm with this. It doesn't break. You know, it can't go anywhere, so it doesn't break easily. This one's a more of a round one. More round. And I'm going to cut this one up. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit thinner, just to show you slightly different ways. I didn't do it quite tight enough at the end, or maybe quite enough, as much rice in this one as the other one. So see if this knife's any better. This one's a little, no, I think that's not quite so good as the serrated. So I'm going to go back to this one. So this one I'm going to do slightly thinner. Yep. Sawing action. This is a lot harder than it looks. When the pupils do this, they sometimes make it look hard. So you have to nice sharp knife. This one's less than an inch thick. This one's a little similar, but not the same. Obviously you can make vegetarian ones. Now I've got a long plate here, so we're going to move the ingredients out the way in it. Move that. In a minute I'm going to make some with no nori. You don't need the seaweed. Normally you have black sesame seeds, but you can do it with none. I've got some, I might try some with the golden sesame seeds. So depends on how many you want a portion. I'm going to put most of these on here. Just to get them out. So these ones, these are the end ones. The rest of these ones, they're not so good. So I won't use the end ones, I won't throw them away, but I'll just put them over here for later. So the next one we're going to do this one slightly different. So we're going to try it with half a sheet. So this is a bit tricky here. These are going to be real small. So we're going to get half a sheet. Cut it in half. And you can shred this, by the way, if you have ramen. I made some of that today for my live lesson. And we had some little, I've got a picture of it here. We made that today, and I put some shredded, it says about shredded, you can put some shredded nori on there, and I did some ramen eggs to actually soak them. I made them coloured by soaking them, marinating them in some soya sauce and aniseed garlic and ginger. So this one's going to be tiny, obviously. So this, don't put so much rice in these ones, because otherwise you definitely can't roll them up. So these are sometimes harder to make. And spread it out. So what else? Oh, I haven't put any sweet. Oh, I'll tell you what. I don't normally put spinach in it, but I've got a bit of wilted spinach and the thing. So I'm just, and I could put some prawns in this one, or I could put them on top. So I might put the prawns on top, like make a piece of rice. The last bit I'm going to use a bit of rice, and then I'm going to just put the prawns on top. So now what else with the other fish? Oh, I've got some more. So I could put some more, but I think I'm going to save them for on top actually. So I think I'm going to use a bit more of the smoked salmon. Cut it with a knife. I like smoked salmon. Prefer that to the crab sticks, but the crab sticks are nice and cheap, so they have got their uses. This one's, you can put some other stuff inside. I wouldn't normally put sesame seeds. I said I would put some sweet corn in it, didn't I? So we can put a little bit of sweet corn in this one. Like I said, I wouldn't normally put sweet corn on it. And you have to just put in stuff you like, because if you're eating it, depends who you're making it for. This is just a bit wilted. So we just had some like boiling stock mud on it for the ramen, and we garnished it. This was one of the garnishes for the ramen. So as you now hopefully I've not made it put too much stuff in there. Yeah. because obviously this is a real small one, so this might not be quite enough, so hopefully I've not put too much in. So let's have a look. Oh, there's just enough there. I'm going to push that back in there a minute. That's going to be okay. We'll just take that bit out there. Push it down. So these are quite good. These look nice and small bits, depending how big you want them. As you can see, this looks a lot smaller now. Push it down. Quite firm. Quite firm. And as you can see, it's going to be quite a lot smaller. With the knife again, so we're going to put these on a different plate in a minute. These ones you can do a little bit thicker than the other ones because it's going to be quite small. Make sure you've got a nice sharp knife. And we're going to do one last one with maybe some sesame seeds, maybe with some prawns on top. So, another plate here. So yes, and you can do it without the nori. So if you're making this at home and you thought, oh, I haven't got any nori, can I make it? You could. Obviously the sushi rice is like short grain rice. You need the correct rice really. These ones are a bit loose, so I'm not going to use those ones, they're a little bit loose. So next bit, I've got enough to make a rice here, but I thought I'd just make some without any nori just to show you. So we're going to put you some, normally you'd have black sesame seeds. They often have black sesame seeds for these ones, but I haven't got any black ones. They're a lot more expensive unless you buy a big bag of them. So I'll put some on here. A little bit of the rice. Put it along. Then we're going to put something on this. This is only the rice and sesame seeds, but then I might put on some prawns on top of these. Make sure I don't waste any of the rice. You can cover them with prawns, smoked salmon. So this one, I have to sprinkle up on top. This is definitely good to have the with the cling film on here, otherwise it won't work. And you can put the nori actually inside, so you don't have to have the nori on the outside, some have the nori on the inside as well. So needs a bit more sesame seeds there. A couple more sesame seeds sprinkled on top. We take it off there, put it on the tray. Then I wash my hands, so I've got this sesame seed stuck to me. Wipe them with a bit of paper towel. Now, what I'm going to do now is I've got some prawns here, and I'm going. Oh, I could put some avocado. I've got some avocado left. I don't think I've cut it all up, or have I? Oh, I did. Did I cut it all up? It was all half. I'm going to get a little bit more out. I'm surprised I've used so much. So I'm going to get this one out. Put a little bit of avocado on. A little bit of avocado. So slice of that along here. One little bit in the middle. And I'm going to put these prawns. You can either have them whole on there, or sometimes they sort of cut them in half a bit and butterfly them out. Or just cut them in half. And then we're going to cut these the length of the prawns. This one's a little bit smaller. And you put smoked salmon on top of these if you haven't got any prawns. The nori is a little bit easier to make than these. It's a bit more fiddly. I'm just going to try and cut through it. So these are going to be long ones, long thin ones. They don't have to be all the same shape. So I've got quite a bit of room on this round plate here. So I'm going to put a few on the round plate. Sometimes when they haven't got the nori sort of holds them together, so be careful of these, sometimes they fall apart. So that's it, thank you from Mr. Bloxham.